Hello, everyone. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. We're going to begin Beowulf. Now, this is just a very small segment of Beowulf. When I used to teach Beowulf, I taught the entire poem that we did. So, some of you are very, very fortunate that we're not going to do that. But Beowulf, I'm just going to briefly go over some of the objectives of what we're going to talk about in this next week. We're going to be able to identify the specific characters and their actions in the actual poem of Beowulf. We're going to demonstrate the ability to draw inferences, about a warrior society from just this selected passage that we have. To state the cause of Grendel's savagery, to cite examples of the hero's actions and attitudes, and emphasis on the superhuman characteristics, to analyze the relationship between Unferth and Beowulf, and that is correctly how it's pronounced, Unferth, to identify the heroic characteristics revealed in Beowulf and state their importance. We're going to be able to cite examples and the use of alliteration in Beowulf. There's quite a few examples of that. And then we're going to find examples of kennings used to describe Hrothgar. If you don't know what a kenning is, we will discuss that and find out what it is as we go through the play. Now, some of the characters, the names and places of the characters that are in Beowulf. Beowulf, of course, is the hero of the epic. He is from the land of Yeats in Sweden, and the G is like a Y sound. Sorry. Brecka is Beowulf's opponent in the swimming match. We have Yeats, which is people in Sweden. Beowulf becomes their king and rules them for 50 years. We have Grendel, who is a troll-like monster who lives in the fens and attacks the warriors of Hrothgar's court. Heorot is the mead hall built by King Hrothgar to feast his followers. Hrothgar is a Danish king who actually builds Heorot, and Unferth is a jealous noble who attacks Beowulf as a braggart. Wulfgar is the herald of King Hrothgar. Okay, so those are a few characters and places that you're going to need to be familiar with. Now, Beowulf was composed around the 8th century. Its legendary adventures are much older than actually that, and were probably known for centuries before the poem was even written down. The poem reveals a great deal about the customs and values of the Germanic people who invaded the British Isles and established settlements in the Middle Ages. It's important in this society was the relationship of the Lord and his thanes, or the followers. That was something that was very important at the time. Now, there are pagan and Christian ideas that are expressed in this poem. We can get a lot of Christian work out of this. I'm not one who says that every piece of literature we read is a Christian piece of literature. If a piece of literature is classified as a good piece of literature, it will always have a conflict of good and evil. So we have to be very careful in what we call Christian literature and what is just good literature. Okay, so I want to just let you know that too. Beowulf himself is a blend of history and myth. The poem focuses on the adventures of Beowulf as a great warrior with superhuman powers. Beowulf is the embodiment of the Anglo-Saxon ideals, which is courageous, unfailingly loyal, always willing to test himself against all kinds of fate. In his youth, he battles with two terrible monsters, Grendel and Grendel's mother. In his old age, he fights his last battle against the fire dragon, and the only surviving manuscript of poem is in Anglo-Saxon or Old English. The setting takes place in Heorot. The battle with Grendel introduces the reader to Hrothgar, king of the Danes, and his castle Heorot, built as a place to honor his warriors with feasts, entertainment, and gifts. And we're going to end it there and pick up later on for tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.